Hi guys, welcome to this webinar on content marketing. I would firstly like to introduce myself, and post which I would like to introduce the host of this session. So I am Vaibhav Gehlot, and I work as a program manager at upGrad, where I work towards developing the MICA and upGrad Digital Marketing and Communication Certification Program. It's a 6 months program where you learn all about digital marketing and communication directly from MICA professors and from various industry leaders in the world. Today's session is on content marketing, and we have with us Pradeep. Pradeep is the founder of Cash Overflow, where he blogs a lot about how you can improve your personal finances, how you can save tax, and what are the good habits to have when it comes to personal finance. Alongside that, he's also very successful when it comes to blogging, and I'm sure he would have a lot of great tips to share during this session about content marketing and blogging. So with that said, I would directly like to switch over to Pradeep. But before I do that, I would just like to elaborate a bit on what the agenda of this session would be. So firstly, Pradeep would start with a presentation detailing like how you should go about content marketing. Once we're done with that, then I would speak for like 5 to 7 minutes on the upGrad digital marketing program. Post which we would have a Q&A round with Pradeep, where any questions that you have around content marketing, any questions that you have around, let's say, if you have blogged in the past, and so on and so forth. So you can simply post any of those questions over there, and we would take them up after during the last leg of the session. So with that said, I would like to switch over to Pradeep. Pradeep, over to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Pardeep. Before starting Cash Overflow, I started two startups, both in education domain. So my first startup was catering B2B segment for schools, and my second startup was for students. So I have experience with B2B, B2C, and now I am running independent blog on personal finance. So that's how I got to know about blogging and organic growth of any of the business, so which can be applied to any of the startup. So well, we can start with the presentation. I'm not able to see the presentation, Weber. Yeah, got it. So we'll talk about content marketing and how we can grow organically and how we can apply the basic fundamentals of content marketing to any business. Next slide.
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are 4 steps which I have figured out during my journey of 3 years of running startups and doing content marketing. So the first step is finding who you are. So unless until marketing to your business. And the second is experiment mindset, because something that can work for my business may not work for your business because the context can be different. So something that can work for B2C may not work for B2B. So you have to be very experimenting with the experimenting mindset when you do content marketing, and then you should focus on primarily on organic growth, then on paid marketing. So that's how you can grow exponentially, because if you focus on paid marketing first, then it will be difficult to tap the organic sources later on. And the last step is monetization. So that is also one of the insight that I got from my business, that if we focus early on monetization, then we lose a lot of organic growth. So that's why we should defer monetization as much as possible, so that we can tap organic sources first, then we can figure out what is the best source of making money from our business. Next slide. So there are 4 kind of people who can leverage content marketing. So one is a blogger who is blogger by passion, who want to share some of the knowledge with their audience. And the second guy is the affiliate marketer, who knows about blogging and who has certain experience of running some kind of blog or some kind of organic growth, and then he will figure out some sources of making money first, then he will build the entire business around its affiliate marketing. So basically they will figure out some affiliate products first which can give them big amount of money, and then they will think what should they write and how they should write and how they should promote, as compared to the blogger who don't care about the money first but they care about their passion first. For example, I started with sharing my own personal experiences with saving money. So I was passionate about credit cards, I was reading a lot about saving taxes, and I was saving money for myself. Then I thought, why not to share the same stuff with other people and help them saving money the way I am saving. So that's how I started as a blogger. So I never been any affiliate marketer, but I happen to make money from affiliate marketing. But the primary growth came from the blogging. And the third is B2C startup. So when I say B2C startup, which means that startup is catering a large number of people whom they don't have to call, whom they don't have to sell personally by interacting them. So people can come to their website portal or their mobile app and they can do the transaction. So that's a B2C startup. And B2B startup is when one business is selling something to other business, uh, with some exceptions like the business where if someone can come to your website and if they can do their transaction without your involvement, then even if you are selling to a business, you will still act as a B2C startup. So for example, Buffer is a company who sells uh, uh, Twitter scheduling service to businesses, to startups, but they act as B2C startup. So they don't call to their customers, they don't fix appointments for with them to sell their products. So although they are selling to businesses, but they are acting from the content marketing point of view, they are acting as a B2C startup. So that's the difference. That's how we should see where we are, who we are. So if we are sure that we lie in this segment, then we can craft our content marketing accordingly. So if we try to play different game in a different field, then the chances are that we will lose the game.
Got it, got it. Pradeep, I just wanted to let you know that we have a very interactive audience today, and we already have like 5, 7 questions that have come up. So,
Yeah.
whenever you would like to address those alongside your presentation, just let me know.
So I think after second slide we can talk about questions.
Okay, so should I continue to another slide?
Yeah. Yeah. Next slide. Yeah.
Okay.
So knowing about myself is one thing, and knowing about my audience will complete the cycle. So you should know who you are and you should know who is your audience. For example, my audience is people who are looking for a secondary source of income without quitting their day job. So I have very precisely defined my audience. However, I can write more content which is not directly aligned with this audience, uh, but I know what kind of things can make them interested in my writing. So I can tell you the precise things about my audience, like what they are interested, what they like, what they don't like, and what is their behavior. So I have, because I am talking to a very niche audience, that's why I can remove a lot of audience which is not direct audience of my blog. So if you are a B2C startup and if you are defining your audience like men and women 24 to 48 of years of age, and they are interested in XYZ interest, or they are interested in travel, or they are interested in buying some fashion, uh, I mean, you are not well defining your audience. So with this definition, I cannot visualize a single person who can fit into your audience. So it's better that you can define your audience in a very niche target so that you can understand their needs. So it's very difficult to understand the needs of men and women who are 24 to 48 year of age. Like they have so many different kind of needs, like what you can understand from them. So you don't know your audience well if you are defining very loosely your audience. If I am playing with a B2B startup, then probably a marketing head of a small company who sells XYZ stuff to some other company, because it's a B2B company, then that means that company has to sell something to their customer. So if I know this thing, that the company who is selling this stuff and the guy in this hierarchy is the marketing head of that small company, and if I can also tell how small is the company, so is it 20 people company or 200 people company, or what kind of funding they have, what kind of business they generate, and what kind of business this, what kind of products they buy, then I can more define my audience and I can craft my content marketing accordingly. The last point is, I don't know. It's fine if you don't know. If you acknowledge that you don't know, it's fine. But if you don't know and if you don't acknowledge that, that's a problem. So that's what I happened with me initially, that I was not sure who is my audience. I was writing out of my passion, whatever I knew I was sharing on my website, and people were coming and they were asking me questions, they were writing me emails. So slowly I figured out who is my audience. Then I started crafting my content according to their needs, what they were looking for, and my journey came to a track. So now we can take questions, Vaibhav.
Got it, got it. So cool. So first question that we have is actually a question that a lot of amateurs tend to have. So this guy is asking that, okay, I can see that a lot of content marketing tends to happen. A lot of businesses do content marketing, but how do you actually sell something through content marketing? What are the different ways you can sell something via content marketing?
Uh, so we can figure it out, the ways of selling. So if someone is running a startup, then they know what they are selling, and probably they need to figure out the reasons why someone wants to buy their stuff.
Okay.
So content marketing can bridge the gap, but content marketing itself cannot answer this question, that you can write this thing and you can show this stuff to someone, and you will be able to sell something. I mean, how to sell something to someone will come from the founder. If he has understanding of their audience, that why someone wants to
This says
buy
your
your stuff. So probably you can get better answer after finishing the complete presentation.
Yeah, got it. So another question that we have is from Rishabh. He's asking what are the best strategies to manage different social media accounts, and which would be the best way to select which one is right for the best customer? How to figure out what social media channel you need to be present on?
We will be talking about it in later stages. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Then I guess we should continue with the presentation, and then we can take up all the questions after the presentation.
Yeah, sure.
What do you say? Okay.
Should be putting our own money, we should look for a VC. So in either case, even if you are a self-funded or you want to raise money, you should start as a self-funded. So initially, if you can think like a self-funded startup who wants to save every penny from every transaction and invest their time into the organic growth, then you will be on the right track. Next slide. So that's where the question was, like where to focus, whether on the Facebook or on the Google. So why I selected these two companies, Facebook and Google, because these two companies are the most valuable internet companies. Facebook is known for social media. So under Facebook, you can think Twitter, you can think about other social media, because user emotion works in a similar manner. So no one comes to Facebook to buy anything. They come to Facebook to interact with their friends, to enjoy, to spend their time. But because Facebook intelligent, they want to make money, so they stuff some of the ads in between, and they want to sell something. And the brands are making some stories, and they are also promoting their stuff for Facebook users. But organically, if we think organically, Facebook is for for sharing, for liking, for something that you can sell interesting stuff to your audience. So if you are a startup or a blogger who can figure out one emotion, one type of content that can get shared on Facebook, then Facebook is right for you. But if you are in a boring industry where no one want to share anything on Facebook, then I mean it will be very difficult to get the organic growth. And even if you try paid thing, then it will not give you that much of results. And when we say Google, so we talk about that why someone goes to Google. So they have some problem, people know some problem, and they go to Google for a solution. So it's a problem solution oriented platform where people don't go to just spend time. They want to learn. They go there to learn. They want to search some additional information. So if they want to buy iPhone or Android, so they will be going there to compare the features, or they are looking for some latest information on some electronic gadget. So it's always digging some information. So the why this is important in content marketing, because the content which will work good on Google may not work good on Facebook. So both things are different, and you should make a separate strategy for Facebook and Google.
Got it.
Yeah, next slide. So let's talk about Facebook. So Facebook is about sharing. So can we generate any content which can get shares? So the primary liking your content, your Facebook will not grow. So in order to grow Facebook organically, you have to create something that is worth sharing. So if something is getting shared, it will naturally get likes or comments, but not the opposite way. Next slide. So for Facebook, you have to think about three things. One is at least one viral idea. So if you can get one viral idea, you can create 10 type of content around that idea. So can you answer that this thing can be shared on Facebook? If yes, then you can generate different kind of content. So that's the content, visual content. And the last is promotion. So if you have to grow organically, you cannot rely on paid likes. So the moment you start getting the paid likes, your audience will not share. So you will stuck at one point that you will have a lot of likes but no engagement. To get engagement, initially you have to promote organically. So we'll talk about three things, like ideas that can get viral, and then the visual content, what kind of content we have to create, and then last is promotion, organic promotions. Next. Mom that grew from zero to couple of it's 150 1,50,000 share likes now. So one of that post went viral, which has been shared by more than 6 lakh people, and it got more than 1 lakh likes, 3,500 comments, all organic, because it was talking about a love relation between a dad and a daughter. So the emotion was so powerful that everyone was sharing it. So dads were sharing it, moms were sharing, and the daughters who were mom, so they were sharing for their dad. So there were different angles to share, different reasons to share this post with their audience, because everyone was feeling so connected with this idea. So the idea is same, the love between a daughter and the dad, and there is different kind of audience which you can cater, and this kind of posts can get viral. So what is the benefit of getting viral is that you will acquire a lot of organic likes on your page, which can be used again and again to give the boost of your future posts. So that's the power of virality organically. So if you can come up with one idea, so here I'm talking about the idea only. Next slide. So what kind of content we have to create on FB? So most of the content should be images. So if you are sharing seven posts per week, so 5 posts out of 7 should be images, and one video and or one animation, and there should not be no text or very minimal text, because Facebook doesn't like text. The moment you will start writing a lot of articles, you will start sharing a lot of articles on Facebook, so your growth will stop. So you will still able to get engagement and everything, but you will not grow based on the viral articles. So when you are starting the growth of Facebook, so your whole focus is getting something which can grow. So after a point you can try different things. So when I talk about this concept with people who give me examples that there are so many companies who share 10-15 articles per day, because that's their business. They already have millions of likes, and their purpose is to monetize or use that audience to their website. So that's why they are sharing. You cannot play their game. So you don't know how they grew, whether they grew organically or paid. So you cannot compare them with yourself. You can compare you with yourself, that do you have that much of money or time, or do you have that much of sense or understanding of your customer that you can create viral content and get the organic growth. So that kind of content you should create on Facebook. Part, the promotions. So whenever we start promotions on Facebook, we end up spamming groups. So what happens when we spam a group? Admin blocks us. And which kind of admin will block us first? The group which is most engaged and which is most lucrative. So that admin will block you. So if you have 100 groups in your niche, in your market, and you start spamming, so you will get out of 10 most valuable groups within 2 days. So that should not happen, which means that you should not promote like a spammer. You should not go to group and just drop your link and come out. So start with the partnerships with pages, the pages which are at your level or a little ahead you or a little behind you. So those kind of pages would love to partner with you, and they will cross share your content, and you can share their content on your page. So organically you both can grow. So you will have the same audience and you both will grow by cross promoting each other, and everyone understand this stuff. So if you reach out to them with the logic that we can both grow organically by sharing each other's product content, then I mean they can accept you. And starting you should not spend any money on the ads, no money on the paid likes, according to me. So if you are listening to someone else, then listen his complete advice. But if you are following this framework, then this is how it is, and you should not mix it with someone else advice and few things from here, few things from there. Then nothing will work. Next slide. Yeah, this is the end result of Facebook organic growth. So you can see that the whole growth is organic. It started somewhere in June, July, and by end of January, so it reached to 1 lakh likes. We can take questions on Facebook now, Weber.
So actually, Pradeep, all the questions that we have are more or less generic based on content marketing overall, not specifically on Facebook. So I think
Mhm.
the better approach would be that you like complete the presentation and then we cover all of these questions all at once after your presentation. Does that
Okay,
work?
but there was one question around social media, so I want to answer that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Or that
Yeah.
or was that answered?
Okay, so that question was that by Rishabh firstly, and this question was that there are so many social media, channels that you can be present upon. How do you
Mhm.
decide what would be the best channel to be present in?
So I think if your audience is Indian, then you should first start with Facebook, because most of the Indians are on Facebook and they are addicted to Facebook. But if your audience is somewhere in US and somewhere in other country, then you have to check which is the like most active social media channel over there. And
Okay.
it also depends on the type of audience. So if you are talking to mothers, so the mom community, then it would be better that you should focus on Facebook plus Instagram at the same time, because
Yeah.
that's being dominated by mom community. And if your audience is entrepreneurs or politically influenced people, then Twitter plus Facebook would be better option.
Yeah, makes sense. So
Yeah.
actually, Yusuf has another question again on Facebook. So how do we get the right target market for Facebook? So how do you select all those targetability options that are there in Facebook?
Target market as in paid promotions.
I think that must be what he's asking. He hasn't specifically mentioned paid promotion, but I think that's what he mentions.
Yeah, because that's how you target. Yeah, Facebook is a good channel where you can make profiles of your customer, and you can do testing, which is good profile for your ideal customer. So there is no fixed formula for targeting. You have to experiment with a couple of profiles and see where your CPC is low. So where
Okay.
you spend money and get most benefit, and you should experiment with your titles, your images, and your customer profile. So three main variables which you can change and see the results by varying the title, image, and audience profile.
Got it, got it, got it. Pradeep, another thing that I would like to highlight at this moment, it's currently 7:35 and we have to end the session somewhere around 8. So in interest of time, it would be great if we could, wrap up the presentation in, let's say, another 10 minutes, and then we can start with the Q&A session because we also have a lot of questions coming in.
Yeah, sure,
Right.
sure.
Got
Yeah,
it. Cool.
so the another big segment is Google. So when I say Google, I should start with keywords. And when I say keywords, people say that, okay, I have written an article which is optimized for this keyword. And when I ask how much is the keyword volume for that keyword, so the guy had no clue. So when we say Google and when we say keyword, we should know how much is the keyword volume and what is the worth of that keyword, and or what is the intent behind that keyword that someone is searching. So keyword is one thing, and then when we have to write something for Google, then it has to be text or video. And the last is the growth. Growth will come from the link backs only. If you are targeting Google and you don't have link backs on your website, then I mean growth is very difficult for you. Next slide. Uh, so this is something counter advice that most of people say, that you have to focus on long tail or short tail keywords when you talk about keyword research. But in my experience, it doesn't matter. So unless until you are writing the right kind of content, and in long run this doesn't matter, unless until you are an affiliate marketer who will do very in-depth research on keywords. So if you are not affiliate marketing, that then you don't have to worry about long tail or short tail, and you don't have to worry about your competitors as well, that this keyword has been dominated by that competitor, how you will get better ranking from him. You can get, the only thing that you should be worried about is that picking up big enough volume if you are a B2C company. If you are a B2C company, if you are a B2B company, then you can pick less volume content, but the intent behind those keywords should be directly related to your product. So that's how you should select the keyword search for your startup. So most of people ask me what kind of keyword tools I use. So I don't use any paid keyword tool. I use only free tools, because if you have to kill a bird, who is more important, gun or the hunter? the hunter, right? So no matter how brilliant, how big gun you have or how fast gun you have, if your hunter don't know how to hunt, then it will not work. So initially you should use free tools, but in the later stages when you have figured out something, then you can go for the paid tools. So I use SEMrush, Emoji, and Ahrefs free version for their free versions for complete keyword research. Next slide. Uh, this is very interesting that whether we should write one article per day or one article per week or one article per month, how you should decide whether you should write long articles or short articles. So there are different kind of theories. I think you should experiment with your audience, what they would like to read, whether they want to read one article per day, then how you will reach out to that big audience who want to like read your article per day, or they want to read your article per week, or what they need. So if you have answer to your first question, then you should focus on your quality. And the measurement of quality is subjective. So what kind of content you are writing, you can change the quality metrics accordingly. For me, the number of comments are my quality metric, that if people are liking my content, if they are loving my content, then I assume that they have to comment. So if they are not commenting, then I assume that my article is not good enough to get their answer solved or create new curiosity to know something better than what I have written. Next slide. So this is my stats, real stats, that I have published 35 posts in first 20 months, and I have more than 1200 real comments from users. So on an average, I published less than 2 articles per month. So this was my initial traffic. So 10,000 traffic in initial 9 months. Next slide. And after 9 months, it just went up straight. So it happens because of previous 9 months, because whatever I was writing, I was accumulating something, I was doing something which was like, it was like a compounding effect. The way we start investing money into some account, and initially it looks like a small money, but over a long time, so you will see a big money in your account. Next slide. So what is difficult in Google? So is it creating the content? I don't think, because you can write good content and you can hire good content writers. The big companies, at least big companies, can hire very good writers. Uh, so it's not that difficult, and self promotions are also not difficult, because you can share your links here and there, and you can submit your links in directories and all. So these are very easy things. If anyone can do these things, then how the Google will decide who is doing the better or best work? So it's about how many other people are talking about you, how many other people are linking to your content. So if they are liking your content, means they will link back to your content. So that's one thing that is difficult for anyone to achieve, and that's what Google takes into account when they improve the ranking. Next. And that's what worked for me. So this is the graph of link backs that I started in July, and during these 4 5 months, my link backs increased, and as my traffic increased. Next. We can take questions on Google here, or we can complete the slides and then we can take.
Probably do that after the presentation itself.
Yeah. Just save time.
Yeah. So this is something is missing logically in the entire slide, that we have to make genuine relationships throughout the journey. So if you are trying to spam, if you are trying to take advantage of people, then it may work in short run, but in long run it will not work. So you have to first start giving without expectation. So when you do some free work for someone, so you may get something in return or you may not get. but you should train yourself to do something for someone else before expecting anything from them. So that's what worked for me, which I feel is more important than doing the keyword search or writing a good content. So these are some of the methods to monetize. So it is applicable to all kind of businesses, whether you are running a blog on your passion, or you are doing affiliate marketing, or you are running any B2C marketing, B2C startup. At the end, you have to pick any of these methods to monetize your content or your product, and you have to experiment with every channel before finalizing where you have to scale. So I started with display ads, but after 2-3 months, I thought that this is not a good way to make money from my audience, because my audience is very less, but they are very targeted and in niche. So I started affiliate marketing on my content, and it worked. So if I failed in affiliate marketing, then I would have started some selling some digital product or physical product. So I mean, you have to try a couple of things before finalizing with what can work. And display ads is the worst way of making money. That's it.
Got it, done. Thanks a lot, Pradeep, for that presentation. I really found it, very insightful. And what I really liked about the presentation was that, I mean, it was very applicable for any blogger that is out there. He can directly, implement whatever you were talking about in those 24 slides. And at the same time, there was, not a lot of text that was there in the slide. It was very concise. So, I mean, there wasn't, I couldn't pick out one single sentence within the presentation that was, that we could have done without. Each of those words were very precise. So thanks a lot for that. So guys, with that, we come to the end of the presentation. However, this is not the end of the session, because we also have the Q&A session coming up with Pradeep. So if you have any questions about content marketing, whether they might be theoretical in nature, you've just, started learning about content marketing and you have some basic beginner questions, that's completely fine. If you're a blogger already and you want to take your blog to the next level, do also post those questions in the live chat below, and then we would quickly take them up. But before we start with the Q&A round, I would also like to speak a little about upGrad and what are we doing to, revolutionize the marketing education. So, as many of you must already know, at upGrad we develop high quality online education programs which are for working professionals. So these programs are designed for people who are 3 to 10 years of experience, and these professionals are looking for the next step in their career. So, for example, somebody might be a sales professional with 3 years of experience. Now he might want to shift into data analytics, or let's say digital marketing, or they could be, let's say, an IT professional who has been doing a fair amount of coding in the past years, but now he would wants to shift into an analytics kind of a career. So for all of these kind of people, we develop online programs which are extremely industry relevant, which help them make this transition. On the marketing front, we have developed a program which is a 6 months program in association with Mica. A lot of you might already know about Mica. Mica is one of the prime institute in the country when it comes to marketing and advertising, education. So we have tied up with them and we have made this 6 months program, which is very intensive, which covers all aspects of digital marketing as well as communication. So when we were just starting off with thinking about how we should go on developing this marketing program, then we had reached out to a lot of chief marketing officers and a lot of head of digital agencies, and our question to them was one very simple question: what are the kind of things that you feel are missing within the pool of candidates that interview on a day-to-day basis? What are the kind of things that you wish they had? And one answer that we got overwhelmingly from all of these guys is that the marketers these days, they would know about how to execute on one or two particular tools. So for example, if somebody is a social media analyst, he would know how to run Facebook ad. If somebody is a search engine analyst, so he would know how to execute these search campaigns on all of these different tools. But when it comes to strategizing a marketing campaign end to end, when it comes to thinking who your consumer is, identifying how you can reach out to this customer in the best possible manner, how you can illustrate what are the benefits of your product and service, and finally how do you decide how much money you have to spend on each of these different marketing channels. These are the kind of things that the current crop of marketers, we were told that they are lacking in these particular skills. And with this insight in mind, we ended up creating a program which just does not teach you how to run digital marketing campaign, but also teaches you how to create digital marketing campaigns and how you can use data to optimize all of these digital marketing campaigns. So this would be an end-to-end program which would give you an overall perspective of marketing. And a couple of interesting things that I would like to point out about this program is that firstly, in this program, you would be taught from MICA faculty who have like more than 20-25 years of experience, specifically, leading the forefront of marketing and advertising in India. Secondly, you would also learn from a lot of industry professionals. So when I say industry professionals, so these are not people who just have like 5 to 7 years of marketing experience. Rather, these are the people who have been like head of marketing at some companies or head of agencies as companies. So if I were to like name a couple of them, so there would be Apoor Chamaria, who is the head of marketing of HCL Tech, which is like a 4 billion IT group. Then we also have Sakhi Dheer, who heads the digital marketing as well as the data analytics for Facebook across Asia Pacific region. Then we also have Jaydeep Prabhu, who is a professor of marketing at Cambridge University. Then another person we have is Amrish Godbole, who is the managing director of Digitas LBI, which is one of the leading, marketing agencies in India. So these are the kind of people who would be teaching you throughout the program. But that's not the most interesting part either. The most interesting part about this program is the kind of hands-on experience that you get while learning digital marketing. So another one of our core belief when it comes to marketing education is that you cannot teach somebody, digital marketing by just, presenting few lectures. Rather, they have to really work on the digital marketing campaigns so that they understand what are the, smaller nuances of running digital marketing campaigns. So keeping that in mind, we first of all we developed 10 case studies along with leading digital brands that are out there. So we have a case study where we discuss how Star India used social media to power their Mauka Mauka campaign. As a lot of you might remember from the World Cup, there was this Mauka Mauka India versus Pakistan campaign. And another campaign that is out there is by Grofers when they wanted to, they initially had marketed their, services only in Delhi and Bombay. At that time, they only used to communicate using English language. Now they wanted to shift to vernacular language when they, wanted to target tier 2 and tier 3 city customers. So how did they go about do that? So these case studies would give you a feel of how what it actually means to be a marketer and what are the kind of decisions that you have to take while a campaign is going on. So apart next to these case studies, you would also get to run campaigns by yourself. So what I mean by that is that you would be given an actual amount. You would be given actual Facebook and actual Google credit, and then you would be expected to run real campaigns on both of these platforms. So how it would help you is that you would get to see what is the kind of impact that is being generated by you spending money on Google and Facebook. You would get to understand what are the kind of things that you did wrong, what are the kind of things that you could have done right, and so on and so forth. So these are the kind of insights that you wouldn't get if you just were to read a few blogs, or if you were to just go through a few lectures. So next to all of this, we also realize that everybody who does an educational program has a different mindset. So for example, some of you might be business owners and you might want to understand how you can take the marketing of your business to the next level. Some of you might be looking to establish a career in digital marketing. So for both of you guys, we have a separate mentorship track where you would get one-on-one mentorship, which would either help you take your business to the next level, or it would help you advance in your career. So, in interest of time, I would like to take a pause now, but there are a lot more details that I can share with you. So, in the meanwhile, I would also like, if you like what I said about the program, I would also like to extend this special demo access to you. So it must be displaying on your screen now. So if you like what I said, if you would like to know more about the program, so there's this free demo link that you would be seeing on your screen right now, and you can just click on it, and you can have a look at it during the session or after the session as well. So that being said, I would also like to run a brief poll, after which we'll quickly get into the Q&A session. Got it, got it. So yeah, so now we would directly start with the Q&A session. So with that in mind, I'll firstly also put Pradeep on the screen. Hi Pradeep. So now we'll start with the Q&A session. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So one question that we have is from Pranav. So he's mentioning that if we check online, there's so many ways to approach content marketing. How do you choose which is the best for you, considering the fact that organic content marketing is slow in growth?
There is no best way. You have to experiment. You have to experiment and see what works with your audience and what works in your industry and what you can create. So it may happen that videos works best in your industry, but you are not able to create those kind of videos. I mean, you have to balance out three things: your customer, your industry, and your capacity to create content that can work.
Okay, got it, got it. Another question that we have again from Rishabh is what is the best way of capturing organic, genuine email IDs?
So once you have traffic, then you can again experiment with capturing email IDs. So if you give them a right kind of message to get the emails, then you can get the genuineness in the email IDs. So
Yeah,
I can take example of my blog.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, no, continue.
Yeah, so I can take example of my blog writing on personal finance, and if I write something about content marketing, and if I promise them that I will make you rich, and if I promise them that I will tell you how to grow your stocks in couple of months, then I mean I am misleading them. I may capture a lot of emails, but those will not be genuine because my promise and my offering will be disconnected. So if you
Yeah.
have both things aligned, then you will have genuine email IDs.
Yeah, exactly. And I also believe like capturing email ID is the second step. And they genuinely would like to follow you, then I think just placing an
Correct.
email box someplace in your blog which is visible enough should do the job. What do you think?
Yeah, right, right.
Got it. Another question that we have this time from Suranjana: how much time can I expect my content marketing efforts to start showing results?
It depends upon how well you understand your audience. So once you understand your audience and once you know what kind of content you have to create, after that it takes 6 to 9 months.
Got it, got it. The next question that we have is from Genome. He is asking that he's currently in his final year of BBA, all right, and he wants to understand how can he make a career in digital marketing or content marketing.
You have to learn about everything, and not just learn, you have to learn and experiment. You have to learn and implement those things and learn from your own experiences, first hand experience. So that will make you a good content marketer or digital marketer.
Got it, got it, got it. Another question that we have is from Alok. So, how to collect hot and cold leads through content marketing? How to go about doing that? So, I think what he means from this question is how do you classify different kind of leads as hot and cold?
So I think these kind of things can be figured out once you have a lot of audience. So you can have different kind of experiments. So you can run A/B testing on your audience to identify who are hot lead and which are cold lead, and it also depends on your content. So if you are talking directly about their solution, then whosoever is converting will be your hot lead. And if you are talking just about the problem or just about giving some sort of information related to their pain, then they may be just the code lead for you.
Okay, got it, got it. Now Dhaval is asking, what are the best practices to reach mass audience initially on Google and Facebook organically? Paid promotion are the paid are doing paid promotion only way to reach mass audiences very quickly, or can it also be done organically?
So that's what we talked about in complete presentation, that you can grow organic, but it takes time. It takes time to understand what works organically.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So now
So there is
Raj
no quick
has
way. There is no quick, sorry.
no, no, continue.
So I mean, there is no quick way to grow unless until you know what can work. So when you identify few things that can work with your industry, with your audience, then you can think about some predictable result. So quickness can come from there, where you can hire more people to scale what you have figured out that it works. Not before that.
Got it, got it. Next, we have a question from Raj, and this is a slightly, beginner level question. He's asking, what are link backs in Google? So when you were talking about Google, then you mentioned that link backs are extremely important. So could you just elaborate a little what those are and how can a content marketer get more and more link backs?
So whenever someone mentions your blog, so they will link it in their own blog. So if someone is liking my article and if they are writing about that topic, so they will refer my article, and that's what Google tracks uh, technically, and they keep on increasing or decreasing the ranking of pages. So that's the technical stuff, but that's what the link backs are. And to get those link backs, there are different ways. So organically people search for your content, and if they find it useful, they link it in their own articles. And initially you can approach people and you can tell them that you can write article for them, and you can link back your own content in those articles.
Got it, got it. Next question that we have is from Shailendra. He's asking, so he has a blog about health and health tips, okay? And he's asking, how can I, write, what kind of content should I be writing to increase the traffic on my blog? So, I mean, this is a very common question that a lot of content marketers tend to have, whether they are blogging about health or whether they're blogging about something else. That how do you identify what kind of content would resonate with your customers? So, what is your process about identifying what content will work?
So if you are in a health domain, you
Yeah.
have to identify what kind of pain points you are solving for your customer, and whether they are active on Facebook or they are searching for some information on Google.
Okay.
Then accordingly you can create content. So whatever we have discussed in the PPT, so if your audience is on Facebook, you will create more visual content. If your audience is primarily on Google, so you will create more text content, and you will figure out like how to grow that. So that's a long process, but in short answer, you have to like keep less stuff in your execution bucket so that you can execute it well, rather than starting with a lot of things. Start with small things and do it well.
Yeah, yeah, got it, got it. And next, there's a question from Ajinkya. He wants to ask that let's say there are three different steps when you have to do content marketing. First of all, you have to think about what are you going to write about. Second, you actually write about that part of content, and third is that you post it on social media and you amplify it across all the different social media channels. So, according to you, how much time should a person spend on each of these three steps? Should it be more about thinking what type of content to write, or should you simply just write a content and focus on distributing it far and wide?
So the best topics comes from the customer itself, from your reader itself. So when
Okay.
you can start with what you want to write, and when you write 2 3 articles, and if you see that people are asking more information about one topic rather than as compared to other topics, then you will get your next topic. So you cannot keep thinking from your internal understanding, but you should think, you should get more feedback from your customer what they want to listen, and you should write over there. And regarding the social media amplification, I think till the time you don't have big followership on social media, your content will not be amplified. So when you talk about social media, think about growing social media rather than sharing your content to bring traffic on your website, because it will not happen. If you have 5,000, 10,000 likes, I mean, it's nothing. So you should have at least 1 lakh likes before starting amplification of your articles. So before that, till that time, till you get to the 1 lakh likes organically, you should create content that can grow your social media.
Got it, got it, got it. So Pradeep, it's already over 8 right now. So we would just take one more question, and after that we can end the session. So the last question of
Sure.
this session, is, and I think you have already covered this within your presentation also. Now Kushal is asking, what are the parameters to measure the success of a blog?
Yeah, it's subjective. For me, it's number of comments, but for you it can be how much time user are spending on your website, and how much is the bounce rate. Or for a B2B company, it would be how many people are signing up for their webinars or their email newsletters. So for everyone, it's the measurement is different, and at each level of growth of your business, your measurement will change.
Got it, got it, got it. So yeah, so, guys, this
Okay,
brings
thank
us
you.
to the end of this session. And yeah, thanks a lot for joining us. And we would keep on updating you for any future sessions that we have, and we would love to see you in those sessions as well. So, till that time, thanks a lot for joining in. Bye bye.